Hello, everybody. This is Brian Walsh with Allegra, and I am here with my fellow LaTip member, Tony. Tony is with Edward Jones. So why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about Edward Jones?
Sure, Brian. Thanks for having me today, and hope everybody's having a good day today. Weather's warming up. Edward Jones, company based in St. Louis, Missouri. We are the second largest money manager in the United States. We have about 15,000 plus advisors all over the United States and Canada. Headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. Family owned and employee owned company in the brokerage industry. You don't find many companies like ours that are employee owned. And so that's an advantage to the investors out there, because what we do in terms of building financial plans and working directly with our clients is we don't have to, make any decisions based on appeasing any shareholders and making sure we hit some sort of price per share so our shareholders make money. We're an employee-owned company, and our clients are part of our family as well within Edward Jones. So when I say we truly do what's in the best interest of the client, we do, because that's who we focus on when we sit down across the table. Whether it's an individual or a business owner, Edward Jones is and always been client first in terms of the investment plans and ideas and things that we work on with our clients.
Very cool. So I know one of the things that you talked about this morning was that interaction with the client, like how important that is to make sure that you're getting that continual feedback and stuff like that.
100%. And so whether somebody, like I said, it doesn't matter who either comes into my office or calls our office, business, owner, individual, family, somebody has $5,000 or somebody calls and has $500,000 or above. The process is essentially the same. I look at it as if somebody's going to build a house, Brian, right? Brand new construction. You can have an architect draw you the best plan possible, right? And it's the best house with all the best interiors, finishes. It's exactly the spec of how you want it. But if you don't have a solid foundation by which to build that house on, that house is eventually going to crumble under a foundation that was not properly put together. It's the same process with us. I can build the best financial plan that that I possibly can for somebody, identifying any goals and needs that they have. But if I don't have a solid financial footing on which to build that plan, I can build on the Cadillac of plans, as we say, or put something together that meets their needs. But if I don't know exactly everything about that individual business financially, what investments they have at other places, money in the bank, liabilities and things like that, what I put together for them may not work, because they may have other issues they have to deal with first before I can actually step in and truly help them. So what I do is I take everybody through what we call our 5-step process. And basically what it is step one is, where am I at today? That's where we want to understand where they are financially, right? What assets do you have? What liabilities do you have? What's your risk tolerance? That's important. Are you somebody that wants to be a risky investor? Or are you somebody that wants to be cautious as we move forward in these volatile times? That has a big play on how we develop our plans moving forward. So it's just a snapshot in time of where they stand that day in terms of their finances and their foundation. Step two is, where do they want to be? What I tell people is I run a goals-oriented business. We just don't open up an account, put money in, and whatever the investments achieve as a rate of return, that's what it is. We want to benchmark our accounts, or multiple accounts or single accounts, to a specific goal, so that I know is, here's where we're starting, here's where we want to go. I need to know if those rates of return that we're achieving are going to get us to our goal or not get us to our goal. So that is critical in this as well. So when we like to set those goals. But I want people to paint a picture of where they want to be. What does retirement look like to you? Tell me what you want your retirement to look like. What style of living you want? Are you going to sell your home? Are you going to retire somewhere? Do you want to live somewhere 6 months out of the year, be a snowbird? Do you want to travel? Things of that nature. We want to know what that is, because all that information is just data for us.
I lost your audio, man.
You there?
There we go. Yep.
Okay. So, like I said, it's a way for us to let them know in a casual conversation is what do they want life after retirement to look like? What do they think retirement is? What's their definition? So that information starts that solid foundation for us. And then what I do is I take that information and let them know, A, can they get to where they want to go? And B, how do they get there? And so that's them partner with me, because my goal is not just to have somebody open up an account and then talk to me maybe once a year. No, I want to be their partner. I want to be there with them every step of the way to provide my value and my resources to get them to their quote unquote whatever their finish line is.
Right.
You know, I'm big on analogies, so it is kind of like, here's what I explain to them is, you are the CEO of your household. You are the person that makes all the final decisions for your household. In terms of your finances, I'm coming aboard as your chief financial officer. I'm going to understand where your family's corporation is at. I want to know where they want to get to, and I'm going to lay out a plan on how we're going to get there. And that's step 4 is where I lay out my plan of taking all that data that I collected, showing them how they're going to get there. And it's much more than showing them how they're going to get there. It's the final step is, how do we stay on track? And to me, that's the most important step in this 5-step process, because that, Brian, all revolves around communication, and communication is key. So I always tell my clients, this is what you can expect from me minimally. We're going to meet a minimum 1 time a year in person to go through the entire account. In the beginning, if you want to meet every quarter, if you want to meet every 6 months, I let you tell me how much you want to meet in the beginning until we get this relationship going and everybody starts to feel comfortable moving forward. You'll get calls from our office on a quarterly basis to let you know how the markets are affecting your portfolios on a quarterly basis. If certain events happen, like, market drops, 5-6% in a day, rest assured you're going to hear from us, and we're going to let you know why it happened, and let you know if we're going to take any action on your account based on events that are happening. And so within that 5-step process, in the middle of that circle, if you picture those 5 steps as a complete circle, in the middle is that individual's financial needs. So everything that I do or we do as a company, or the resources I bring to the table, are all to meet and continue to meet that individual or family or business's financial needs. So it's we're very big on communication. That's probably, in my opinion, even though it's step 5, it's the most critical step in this entire process of working with somebody.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, especially when they come to you and be like, hey, I want to buy a new boat. You're like,
yeah,
all
like
right, but that's going to change everything.
Yep. Like I said earlier, it just doesn't have to be a retirement goal. It can be saving for the unexpected. It could be saving for something specific, retirement home. I had a client that we helped make sure he had enough money to buy a new pickup truck to haul his 30-foot camper. And they have been basically driving all over the country, visiting family and seeing the country now that him and his wife are both retired. That's the things I love to see, is that we can help people achieve their goals, and we can be just a little part of that for them.
Right. And that goal is different for every person. I mean, there's not
exactly.
One. So recap: 1 was, where am I at?
Yep. 2,
where I'd like to be.
Correct.
3, can I get there?
Can you get there?
Mm-hmm. How? And then
step 4.
And then staying on track.
Staying on track is the final, and what I think is the most crucial step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember hearing a study about like airplanes. Like if an airplane takes off from California heading to Hawaii and is off by just 1 degree, he'll be hundreds of miles off course by the time he gets there. Correct. So it's just flying is constant course correction. Yep. I would imagine a long-term planning financial is like the same thing.
Correct. So one of the analogies are, because I try to put myself in the seat of the client, and when I try to explain things, right, I can get lost, and a lot of us in our industry can get lost in using a lot of terms that, quite frankly, can fly over people's heads, and they just look at you and nod because they don't want to feel bad or want you to think that they don't understand what's going on. So I try to use different things. So it's like, I use that analogy of going on a trip, right? We can go from Chicago to, let's say, somewhere in the continental United States, or the lower 48, as they say.
Right, because we're not allowed to go anywhere else.
Yeah. So we're instead of Hawaii, right? Because you can fly there, or you can fly to Florida, you can drive to Florida, you can walk to Florida. How you decide to get there is basically your risk tolerance. How aggressive do you want to get to your final destination? Within that process, if you've never gone to a certain place, everybody has a GPS on your phone. You know, your portfolio objective that I create and that I continue to manage with you is I'm essentially your GPS, making sure, like you said in your airplane, making sure you stay on track to get to your final destination. And so, yeah, it's, you know, we're not just financial advisors, we play many different hats along the way. So,
Right. Well, I think in one of them, your step number one, where am I at today? That's just as critical, because I remember, like, it was a more like a business planning analogy, you know, trying to create a marketing plan and all that, is you have to identify where you're at. I mean, I could hand you a treasure map and tell you take 12 paces this way and 18 this way and this way and this way, but without a starting point, that map's useless. Absolutely
exactly.
useless. You'll never get there.
100% correct. You know, a solid foundation just gives you that much more of an ability to have a successful outcome. Sorry.
No, not a worry. All right, so Edward Jones helps you get there. So is there anything else that someone should know before they pick up the phone and call you? Or, I mean, what's involved in calling you? I mean, is it just
one other thing, I think people get a conception, you know, I really truly value the time that somebody affords me to be in front of them, because, you know, we talk and see a lot of people on a daily basis, you know, maybe not so much now because of COVID, but in a normal environment. So I truly value that time they come in here, because I always keep in the back of my head that could be the most important hour that somebody spends with me. So I'm going to give you my direct time and attention to make sure I completely understand what that individual does. And working for Edward Jones and the way our company is set up, and in essence, really gives us that ability to go ahead and do that. And really, you know, if it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 appointments or a couple of phone calls to really understand what somebody wants and needs before they actually commit to doing business with us, that's fine by me, because we don't have the agenda in the background that we have to open an account, get money in, things have to happen right away. It's, you know, sometimes I've had conversations over 6 months before somebody has decided to do business with us. So, you know, I just think we have a very good process, a very good company model, that once people get to know myself or, you know, our company, that they will feel very confident and thankful and secure working with us. So I may be a little biased, but that's how I feel.
Cool. All right. Well, we're going to sign off. If you do want, Tony and I meet every Tuesday morning with our network group, tip, which is in the thing up here. So if you want any more information, reach out to Tony or myself about joining us for a meeting for networking. If you got financial questions, Tony's your guy. His phone number is scrolling across the bottom there. And you got any parting words or wisdom, Tony?
No, everybody, you know, have a good afternoon. Stay safe out there during this COVID times. And if you have any question whatsoever financially, no questions too small, hey, just reach out and give me a call. I'll be more than happy to spend some time with you.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, sir.